It's game on for Rovers at Bishop Road. They've suffered recent routes to the top two in the table. Now they face third place Winstanley, hoping to get the first win in their first televised game of the season. As we look at the lineup, and it's a familiar face as Pete Atherton returns at left back, and good to see Keith Hampson back from a hamstring injury. He gets a start in his preferred striker position alongside Dave Holmes, who in the absence of Dawning and Oakes will play as a number 9. They had a meeting in place of training this week, so be assured to know that they are very much up for this fixture. Holmes. Now, Stirrup takes it on, and Hampson, it's Comfrey to Parry, 1-0! Just a tonic for the manager, only 2 minutes on the clock, and he backs up his midweek words with a well-placed strike. It was a cute pass, wasn't it, from Stirrup? Hampson took the hit, and Parry picked his spot, and that'll be the confidence he was looking to inject into the team. Well, Andy Fay was very vocal after that goal. We go again with his words as he bowls it out to Atherton, looking to build down the left. Sumptuous touch from Hampson. And it's Parry again. He's looking for a runner. And it's Dave Holmes bearing down on goal. And he makes it 2. A dream start for a rejuvenated Rovers. Misty conditions, but they're seeing things very clearly. Well, that went from back to front, from keeper through defence and midfield, and Holmes was as safe as houses. Now Atherton, that's the composure that he's added to his game. It's an awkward ball for Scunnywell, who he retains the ball, and that's a touch from Hampson, who will collect it, and I think he saw the keeper off his line. And he's gone down. Let's hope that's not his troublesome hamstring. Well, he shakes his head, and you have to feel sorry for the Rainford man. He's waited patiently for a return, but it's lasted all of quarter of an hour. It's a corner to Winstanley, headed out by Hudson. And again from the number 7, who's bundled in the box. Well, that was dangerous, and it is a penalty. Well, it was a slightly delayed decision, but you have to say it looked pretty clumsy. Well, he was going nowhere in truth, the number 7, and you can see Hudson just leans on him, and no complaints from the men in red. That's a number 4 who steps up into the corner. Andy Fay went the right way. It was a valiant attempt. Fay studied that, and he went the right way. It was just too good from the Winstanley man. Well, Winstanley are looking a lot more comfortable now after that nightmare start, and they're almost through again. Well, the striker's been flagged offside. Well, just take a look at this. This is how tough it is for referees at this level. He looks comfortable there, but this is half a second after the defender plays it, and he's onside. But without a linesman, how do you call that? It is Bishop Road, there's no S in the end. People do get that confused like they do with Tesco. Goodness me, that's a lunge from Scunnywell. The Rovers have been criticised for a lack of bite in midfield, but Scunnywell does that week in, week out without getting the credit. I guess that's why they call him the silent assassin. Now he's already scored from the spot. What can number 4 do outside of the area? Oh, it's not bad, he's hit the bar. Another let-off for Rovers. They were right behind that, but Rovers remain in front by the slenderest of margins. And this time they're onside, and Andy Fay does really well. And he can't finish from the angle. Well, it's not just about the saves a keeper makes. It's decisions like that from Fay that make all the difference to the back line. This is Holmes, finds Stirrup, who fancies the shot, instead finds Parry, and it's back to Holmes. Great save, Holmes again, and it's turned in by Hudson. It's all falling Rovers' way, and that pretty much doubles Hudson's career tally. Well, you could see the slip by Stirrup. Parry just helps it on, and Holmes did everything right, put his foot through it, and then found Hudson on the back post, and He wasn't going to miss from there. Rovers restore their cushion. Stirrup, surely he won't shoot again. He has, and it's tipped onto the bar, and it comes back to Holmes. He's looking every bit the number 9. He's scoring goals for fun this season. Winstanley livid at allowing Stirrup the space to shoot. He was unlucky not to score, the merest of flicks onto the bar. A little unlucky for the keeper, it hit his back legs and fell invitingly to Holmes, who needs no second invitation these days. Could that be the 3 points? Stirrup loses the ball, but that's surely offside. Hunter, tackle not complete. Stirrup, it's Andy Fay. It's Pinball Wizard in there. And eventually the shot is wide. You know, it might just be Rovers' day. Can they hold on till half-time? The header. Now, what's happened there? Winstanley celebrates, and the referee has given the goal. Rovers protest. I'm not sure what they're debating. It must have crossed the line. Well, the goal line technology says it didn't. So why has the referee awarded the goal? Did he consult the technology? That is an absolute disgrace. If Winstanley get anything from this game, it will have to be replayed. Burrows wins the header. John Parry just stretching for it and caught his man. And he's immediately gone down. This doesn't look good. This is a worry. Rovers have already lost Hampson. And there's no way Parry's going to continue. He's being carried off like a wounded troop. Well, who was picking up the loose man? Rovers just can't get hold of it at the moment. And here's the number 4 with a long-range strike. Oh, that took a wicked bounce. And it was a good job that Andy Fay was alert to it. Cunningham half thought of the stamp. Oh, it's a great ball in. Number 9. Oh, that's a great goal. They're back in it. Oh, and a shove from Andy Fay into the goalposts. And a right hook as well. What was all that about? I think that's what Winstanley want to know. They're not happy at all about that. Don't take anything away from the finish. But just look at this from Andy Fay, barging the man into the goalpost. Then he goes again, as he might say, and I think that's the sort of unsettling your opponent that Fay has asked from his teammates, you know. Good hold of play from the striker and a good turn. Well, they want him to go all the way. Fay's off his line. Rovers are hanging on. It's not often Everton steps up to take these. He is known for his left foot. But I was struggling for an adjective. As Burrows crunches his man, much to the consternation of Winstanley. Winstanley are dominating possession. Stirrup stunned by the nutmeg. That's a crack. Headed out by Clark, only as far as number 15. They're asking questions all the time. Oh, what's this? There's dog shit on the pitch.
I know, we're watching it.
It's always heartening to see such delights at Sunday League level. Well, Stirrup's never been afraid to get his hands dirty. Even when he's on the bench, he makes a contribution. It's gone well. Fleet-footed. Clark lofts it in. Kurt with the header. Well, sadly, that's about as close as Rovers have come to a goal in the second half. And that was about 30 metres away. That's about the length of 2 or 3 pound shops for our viewers in St Helens. We haven't yet adapted to the metric system. It's that long throw, and it's the header again, and it's going to be a goal, no! And Lee Clark manages to scramble it clear. Dave Holmes finds safety. How on earth did that one stay out? And there's a man down injured. Andy Fay summoning on the medics. That's really nice to see. He was twatting him against the goalpost 10 minutes ago. But that's the spirit of Sunday League. They've got to stop that near post header, but it's actually Phil Sconeywell with an unbelievable effort to stop the striker. There was a Winstanley arm in there, and even then it would have been a tap-in, but for Lee Clark blocking the goal, and then he smuggles it clear, and no-nonsense hoof from Holmes. Might be too far out for a shot. Burrows whips it in. Oh, and Holmes swooped. And he's ahead of her away from a hat-trick. Good skill. Here comes the hot stepper. He's got marmalade in his boots, and finally he's brought down. Actually, I thought that was a legitimate tackle from Hudson. But with 3 minutes left, this is the ultimate danger. I tell you what, Rovers will be pleased. Number 4 isn't taking this. And I think he'll be rather displeased. Well, it's the dying minutes of the game. Why not bring your keeper up? He could be in for a grandstand finish. Can he pick him out from the corner? He can, you know. Oh, Rovers' hearts were in mouths. No one knew where that was landing. Winstanley adamant that was a corner. Keeper launches himself. But it was that man Sconeywell who won the header. That's why he's holding his neck. Let's hope that's not another break. No wonder Winstanley appealed. Some very strong words flying around, and I think the referee's had enough. Cunningham smashes it clear. Anywhere will do for Rovers. That should do it, and it does. Oh, it wasn't pretty, but they asked for commitment, and that's what they gave in spades today. They've lost a couple of games by the odd goal this season. They'll certainly take the reverse today. Winstanley are furious at the referee, and that'll go on to the changing room. But for Rovers, those 3 points take them off the foot of the table. It's St Helens Rovers 4, Winstanley 3.